Hey guys, welcome to StewTube. It's May 1st, and today I want to go over a little bit of review from my last video on Bitcoin, as well as Tesla and ATRS. And also I want to discuss where I think these projects may be headed here. So we're going to start off with Bitcoin here. You guys know that I had this wonderful trade from down at this blue line here. And I did take a bunch of profits just at some random points along there, as I had mentioned. But I did have some of my position open, and you guys will remember that I've been pointing out this white line. I know I for surely mentioned it in the last video again also. From our weekly chart here, I said that that was going to be a level of interest for me and why I ended up closing a bunch of profits there, and you guys can see what happened there. That was a very good price estimate there. So look, sorry about that. If we look where we ended up getting to. I ended up closing. I gave myself a little bit of room because with those weekly trend lines, it's kind of hard to tell how perfect they are. It's a little easier on those 15 minutes like what I'm looking at now, which is why I kind of like the 15-minute. But anyways, that was a very good prediction of where the price was heading. I think when I made my last video, we were actually trading right about here. And I had mentioned that even though I closed most of my position, I would be looking to potentially add because I said that we had bull flags forming. And I said we might have one here also. I wasn't overly confident in it because we did drop this green support line, this upward rising one. I'm just going to get that out of the way because even though we did close below it and I was expecting that there was the possibility of it doing a support to resistance flip, I had that on my radar, but I also was pointing out this potential triangle here. I never had the baseline here of support, but I did have this yellow line drawn, and you can see what happened. We got our close above. I added to my position. I set some take profits near the white line. Most of my position was closed out here, the remainder of it. And that happened in my sleep. I had my take profits set and it triggered. I woke up happy. It's the importance of setting take profits, guys. You like these markets can turn around so fast. It would have been very easy in my sleep to miss and retrace back down and have this wonderful entry or addition to my entry. It was a great play, but I could have lost that and turned that into a losing trade quickly. So I'm glad I took profits, and that's very important. Um, After that, I had to let a bit of a trend develop. And I mentioned in our group chat, if you are in that chat, that I was watching actually this downward sloping yellow trend line. And I actually ended up entering a trade a little bit below that even before we got our break above. And just the way these candles were closing, they were really having a hard time gaining momentum and formed this little bit of a double bottom here. And being I was thinking that things might be bullish, I was thinking this was almost a bit of a reverse head and shoulders pattern. So I did play it, and here I'll just put that back there so we can see where I entered and where I took half my position off the table before I updated my stop loss. So the reason I took my profits here, guys, is you guessed it, once again, took my fib retracement tool and went just shy of the 618, which I've loved playing lately, and I can't stress that enough in my videos lately. You got anyone who's been watching my the last few videos know that I've been pointing that out time and time again. Crypto, Tesla, whatever stocks, it's just a very key level of interest for me, as it is for a lot of traders. And so after I closed that, or well, I closed half that position, and I can't remember, I updated my stop loss. I think it was somewhere in here, so the rest of my position did get stopped out. But that was sitting in a nice profit too, so I couldn't really complain. I did end up re-entering a long position here, and my reasoning for that was we had this line that I was watching yesterday. We got another test of support right on it, as well, it appeared that we might be starting to form a bit of a rising wedge. We got a couple green candles closing here, so I was willing to take a chance that, you know what, my stop loss is going to be so low, close, sorry. My stop loss was going to be just below this structure here. So the potential upside versus the potential loss was a no-brainer for me. Especially when, you know, my last two trades, I took about a 200% profit on this move. And last night I took about a 90% move there. That's the power of leverage, guys. If you're using it safely and you have a system that works, it can be very powerful. You don't need very big moves to make crazy percentage gains. And that's the goal. So here I took some profits. I took half this position off the table here, and again, you can probably guess exactly what I did. I took swing high, swing low of this mini trend here, this micro trend, and again, we have our 0.618, so I just went a little shy of that, should just not be greedy, give myself a little room, and again, it worked out. That's 3 in a row, guys. 3 beautiful trades back to back to back. So I am still in this trade. I have stop loss at about break even right now, but I am interested in adding to it because if you guys haven't noticed yet, I have this red trend line, and here I have my first touch point, second touch point, that's our third touch point, and you guys know that I have been looking for 3 touch points on these trend lines. So now if we could get a break above and some sort of a retest, I think that's going to be excellent indication that we might be going to retest this white line. And if we do retest that white line, let's just go over to the weekly chart here once again. If I zoom out here, if we end up breaking this white line, I think we will be testing this white line. And you guys can see where that came from is a much bigger trend. I've pointed this out my last video and my very first video. It's a pattern I'm very, very interested in playing. Let's just put it that way. Because if we start consolidating above this entire triangle, we're going to get, well, sorry, none of this is financial advice, but in my opinion, if we get this triangle move, I know I pointed this out in the last video, but I should really just force it into your guys' head that we could potentially have a target around 28,000 as a measured move, and you guys know these measured moves have been playing out quite accurately. But that could be a long time from now. This is a weekly time frame chart, so each of these candles is a week of trading. It might be a few months down the road, and it might not even happen, guys. We might start fighting with this resistance right here, and we might actually have a bit of a descending triangle where we make quite a plunge. So that's the importance of waiting for confirmations. My analysis can change very quickly. It all depends what the chart is painting a picture of. But yeah, lately my analysis has been pretty spot on with crypto, with stocks, with a lot of things. I've been predicting quite a few things, not to toot my own horn, but these patterns, it's more so just showing you these patterns are quite reliable. These very simple trend lines, they can be very powerful tools, you guys. So I don't know if we're going to break this red line here. We might just end up testing it, not able to break it, and just plunge back down. But for now, that's a line I'm very interested in. I have an alarm set just in case we break it. And if we break it, I want to see how it breaks. But I would be very interested in adding to my long position if we get some candle body closes above that red line. That being said, let's hop over to Tesla to see what's going on here. You guys know that in my last video, I actually said that we might see a support to resist flip here. And by that, I mean, we've been treating this red line as support going up since we broke out of this triangle. But when we broke below it, we started treating it as resistance. And during my video, it was after hour trading, so we only had this candle here, but I said the after hour market was at about $885. And I said it would make sense for the next candle to be bang on this red line, and look at that, guys. I have not moved that line since that video. That is just exactly where it happened. I did expect this purple line to turn into a support flip, changing it since here we could see it act as resist, resist, resist. And then I was expecting after we got that break that it would have turned into support. But look at this. This is a 1 hour chart. Each of these candles is only 1 hour, and not even one single 1 hour candle even tried to test it as support. It just wasn't happening. In fact, it immediately tested it as resistance and plunged from there. So this, as far as I'm concerned, was a bit of an aftermarket fake out because their financial reportings, whatever happened. I don't follow fundamentals too much, but I've heard a little bit about it. But yeah, that's just, to me, looks like an aftermarket fake out and plunge back down. So gonna have to see how it plays out from there. I'm not saying that it's gonna go back down to the lows or anything like that. I mean, obviously anything is possible. But if I was looking for a bullish scenario, I'd be looking for somewhat of a, I don't know, a falling wedge or something like that. Let's see, maybe even get the Fibonacci out and see what kind of targets we could be looking at here. So we are actually getting close to the 0.382 line. I would be more interested in seeing if we do get down to the 618, because once again, you guys know that the importance of that has been crazy. But if we could get some sort of a falling wedge, especially down there, and we kind of had a bit of coiling up, tested back down, break above, and retest for a bit of a double bottom, that could be a very natural looking bullish chart pattern to me, guys. We have to see how this plays out. Obviously, it's very early to make a prediction like that, but that is something that would be worth watching for. Again, I'm not always trading these stocks very often. I'm mostly trading crypto, mostly Bitcoin, but I do like to watch some of these charts. So that's just kind of what I'm looking at for Tesla and what I predicted last video and how accurate that was. And let's move over to the last stock I had pointed out was ATRS. And once again, I know nothing of this stock other than it's a pharmaceutical company. I mentioned that I entered a position at this blue line here because we had this triangle break. I wish I would have got in when it first happened, but I didn't even know the stock existed then. But after we had our close above this purple line, just like with Bitcoin, it acted as a pretty significant line. We started moving up for there, and that's what I mean where we had this purple trend line, guys, going down, and when we broke it, you can see that we started flirting with it as support in this whole general area right here. And now we broke this other one, which actually has more touch points, more trading action along this resistance line, including recently. We actually got rejected by it there very temporarily. So that's very much still in play. And look what happened. As soon as we got above, we tested it as support, got a move. And now we're testing it as support again. So we might have some sort of a bull flag playing out even, where we make a move higher. And as far as a target for that, I mean, I'd probably take my Fibonacci again just because it's been working so accurately. You go swing high to swing low here. Our 618 is up at about $3.78, so that's still about a 15% increase from where we're currently at, and from where I first entered my position, that's over a 40% move. So if I get that target, I'm going to be quite happy. If we consolidate above that, it's hard to say where this is going to go, but interested in keeping my eye on that one too. I still do have some stock in that. I haven't sold it yet. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with this purple line. If we do lose support, I will probably end up just bailing on it, take my profits, and wait for the next nice bullish setup to get into a stock. Anyways, guys, that's just a few things I am looking at right now. So right now we're going to have to see basically how this yellow and red trend line here act. See if I can find something else here. Maybe even some sort of a support line like that forming, but we're going to have to see. For now, I'm more interested in this red line. And if we get above it, get our close, get our retest, and back up to the white line, hopefully. But we're gonna have to see what happens, guys. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Hopefully, if I do see it, I'll have time to make a video or something like that. We'll see what I get up to. But yeah, those are just a few things that I wanted to put on your guys' radar. So with that, you guys should, if you could just have a good weekend, have a good rest of your evening, stay safe out there, and peace out.